says live. It's just not. There it is.
Okay.
Please tell me the mics aren't on.
No.
Like we're not live on the air. We're not, right?
Welcome to the Intern Whisperer Live, the show all about future of work. Reminder, listeners, you can call us live on the air. The phone number is 407-582-2906. You can also chat with us online through Intern Pursuit's Facebook live chat.
Coming up on this episode of the Intern Whisperer Live, looking for internships? Sign up with Intern Pursuit at www.internpursuit.tech. Our guest tonight is Stan Miller. He's a Chief Sales Officer at ViewPost and founding partner with StoryKate, whose mission is to help people tell their stories.
So, how can you find Intern Pursuit? You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can find our game at internpursuit.games. And then you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen to us live on Valencia College Radio and watch us live on Facebook. Be sure to follow Intern Pursuit. And again, the phone number here, if you want to call us, is 407-582-2906. And you can chat with us online. I'm sure hoping, Stan, that people are going to chat with us online tonight.
Let's go.
Yep. Okay, Sid.
Orlando Devs is a nonprofit organization made up of a community of software designers in Orlando. Whether you love writing code or just getting started, you are welcome to check out Orlando Devs Meetup to connect with software and IT professionals. Their website is orlandodevs.com. Thank you, Orlando Devs, for being a patron of the Intern Whisperer.
All right. So, Intern Pursuit News. Students, if you want to work with one of our great employers or with Intern Pursuit, go to internpursuit.tech, sign up, and be sure to create your profile. We would love to have your help. We have a goal of having 500 students signed up on our platform by the end of the year. I said it out loud. That means it has to happen. So it's a willing into existence. And then employers of all types and sizes are invited to be part of our early adopter beta program and take advantage of our special price before the end of 2019. So contact us at info@internpursuit.tech for more information. And if you want to play our game, go to internpursuit.games to check it out. Welcome, Stan, to the Intern Whisperer.
Well, Isabella, I am so excited to be here with you.
I know. This is like we had a little hiccup a few weeks ago.
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
I'm back
Yeah, I
and
know.
excited to be here
Yeah.
and looking forward to chatting with you today.
So we're going to go a little bit off script, and
Yeah,
we weren't
let's
going
do
to
that.
tell anybody about what it is that we were talking about because we
Yeah.
had this awesome conversation offline, even though we weren't recorded last time.
Yes.
And we said, you and I agreed, let's do it again.
Yeah, I think we should do it again.
Yeah,
We can
So-
add to it this time.
we can. But our listeners don't know anything about you.
Sure.
What would you like to share with our listeners?
Sure. Well, my name is Stan Miller. I'm happy to be here with you all. And for all of you that are listening, I am currently a Chief Sales Officer at ViewPost and have founded an organization called StoryKate, where we help people tell their stories. And what I love to do is actually help people recognize their potential so they can achieve greatness in life and especially in their career. And I do that in a couple of different ways. Obviously, I do that at work every day. But I also founded StoryKate to really help people provide workshops and resources that can get them more familiar with communicating their value to employers, which is one thing I think that people do struggle with.
Oh, I would totally agree with that. I know that, well, all my women friends, we usually do not recognize the value that we have because we're, I think, kind of bought into the whole look at online media and say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to look like. This is where I'm supposed to live. This is what, my life is supposed to be like. And then we begin to not see what our real value is, which is inside of us.
Yeah, it's a trick, right? And it's a trap. The reality of it is that you have plenty to offer. The problem becomes, how do you communicate that value? What you say about yourself is important, and do you believe what you say about yourself?
Yeah. So, do you believe daily affirmations?
Well, I have created a concept that is many of you may be familiar with. I call it a superpower statement,
Okay.
which is what I delivered to you just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And that superpower statement is really defines sort of who I desire to help, how I help my audience, whether it's organizations, people, students, whatever that audience may
Right.
be, and what people get when I show up and I'm at my best. So if I can communicate who I am, how I can help others, and describe who I am when I am performing at my best, I am clearly communicating my value to others. And so it is a bit of a process to get to a point where you have this superpower statement.
So we were talking about that earlier, and Miranda, she said,
Hello.
move your microphone closer to you. Nobody's
That's
going to hear you.
a lot.
Hello.
Yeah. So what is your superpower? You said that you were struggling with that question before, right?
Yeah, because it's either an actual superpower or an actual superpower in yourself,
Okay.
Yeah.
if that
And
makes sense.
It
Yeah.
does make sense. And when people typically say, give me a superpower, you want to think superhero.
Yeah.
And it's easy to go directly down, like, what can I do that no one else can do? Well, really, from my perspective, a superpower statement is more in the context of what is the value that I get when I meet with you. And this takes time. This is not something that we want to put you on the spot
Yeah.
with, but this is something that you need to think about as you graduate college, as you enter the workforce. When people say, tell me about you, what do you say?
And people get really shy.
Yeah.
They go, well, they think, well, I'm nobody. That's kind of what's going on. Or they're going, well, I have all of these great things, but I don't want to look like I'm bragging.
Exactly.
You don't want to. Well, let's talk about what people do.
Yeah.
People do, and if they're in the context of an interview, when someone asks, to tell me about you, so let's just say you say, "Hey, Stan, tell me about you." Typically, what people say without the knowledge of storytelling and how to actually narrate, their story, they're going to tell you about their background, the jobs they worked, the skills that they have, the accolades and
Right.
achievements, and the education that they have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what if you're competing against 20 other people that have those same skill sets, that same degree, those same accolades, similar background? What separates you from the rest is the question. And this is the difference oftentimes between getting a job or continuing to be on the hunt.
So I'm going to use this as the example.
Sure.
When I was doing an interview at the Nature Conservancy, it was a round robin. And just in case the people in the room don't know what that means, or our listeners, that I was sitting in a room and there was 5 people sitting across the table from me, and they're asking me questions, snapping my fingers here for emphasis. It was an hour of nothing but being asked questions. The last question I was asked is, well, why should we hire you? And I said, I had to work really hard in my MBA classes to understand finance and accounting. I'm an English major, and they said, well, you have no experience in finance. And I said, that's true. But what I believe I'm going to be able to do is be that translator for your scientists out in the field to be able to understand what it is that's being submitted to the government. And that was off the top of my head. I did not have a response for that type of
That's a
question.
great response, by
Yeah.
the way, for off the top of your head. Most people, and I coach a bunch of executives in not only just in finding other opportunities, but navigating their existing career and their existing companies, reaching new levels. But that question does come up. What do I say when people say, tell me why I should hire you? And most people answer with terms that are broad, like, well, I'm passionate. Well, what does that actually mean?
Right.
Give me an example, right?
What are you passionate about?
Yeah.
And what I try to convey to people is that you should look at the values that you have and look at the values the organization have and come up with a set of common values that you think that you can convey to an organization that would compel them to hire you.
And FYI, they told me that's why I got the job.
Yeah,
Because
you
there
answered
were-
that question
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, thank you. Because when I went in there, I went, why would they hire me? I'm like just graduated from school. I had zero experience in finance. I knew nothing about grants management. And it was like a shot in the dark. And that question, I went, because I had to work really hard to understand it. So I feel like I could explain it. Because scientists don't understand the finance side of it. They don't
Yeah.
want to.
Well, when you are exploring a new opportunity, one of the most things that you can find out about a company and a role inside of
Yeah.
an organization is what problems
Exactly.
does that is that company faced with specific to the role that they're hiring for. And so many people think, well, let me just find out what the broad company problems are. Well, no, I want to know what problems are associated with this role. What problems am I going to face and I'm going to attempt to solve for you inside of this role?
So I'm going to give this back to the 4 people that are in the room that work with me. So what I tell them is, I want 5s from you. I want to be a 5 in your book, in your eyes. And I want you guys to be a 5 for me. But the thing that makes
Is that
you
a
5...
is that a high five?
Yeah, kind
Or
of.
a-
Yay.
Okay.
1 to 5, 5 is the best.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
will tell
A
them,
good
if
rating.
you
Okay.
really, because good means you're just doing the job, basically the job description, if that. Great is you're going beyond the job description, but extraordinary, you're making my life easier. You're taking something off of my shoulders where I don't have to explain something again. You're making sure that you've got it right the first time. Like, those are the people that are at the top of my book, and they become extraordinary. That's the superhero power for me, because you're making my life easier. And not only that, you're standing out among everybody else in the crowd, because I'm going, okay, you're the one that I'm going to go to bat for, and I'm going to say, yes, you've got to hire this person because I'm going to come and take this person away from you. If you want to be that person, then make my life easier for me.
Well, yeah, and a lot of employers and people, and I'm speaking to the guys here in the room.
There's 4 of them,
There's 4
just
of
so
them.
we know, yeah.
What I would suggest doing, well, first of all, can any of you think of about, like, if you're in the context of what she just said, you're trying to solve a problem, what question would you ask her? Is there a question that you could ask her that could surface that problem for her?
Oh, they've worked with me long enough. They probably know what my problems are.
Well, I might ask, what are the things you've attempted to do to solve it that failed? So I can go in and do it myself. Maybe I have a different insight on what might work, and maybe I can point out something that, like, I can see, oh, maybe that it didn't work because of this reason here. So that might be one.
That's a great one. And said differently, it might be, where are you failing today? Right? So if I say, what I might ask you if I was being in service to you, I might say, Isabella, with intern pursuit, you don't have to answer this, but with intern pursuit, what are the biggest areas of concern that you have, and what are you losing sleep over? And you would, I'm not asking you to answer that.
I can answer it. Then.
But if you answer that, what I am seeking to do is find out what your problems are and what your desired state is. If I have the ability to solve a portion or that problem, you and I are going to get along just great.
Oh, man, you're like making my life a dream. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great answer, though, Sydney.
Thank you, Stan.
So, superhero powers. What is your superhero powers? And I know that Darius and Hernando are busy behind the cameras. They're filming. We cannot disturb them, so we're not going to ask them. But the 2 across the table, what's your superhero power?
Ladies first.
Well, you're both ladies. Come on now. What are you going to do? Rock, paper, scissors? You know,
Subjective.
figure it out.
Okay. I would say a superpower I have is to make anyone feel comfortable with me in the room, because we talked earlier, like, me laughing and joking and smiling, it's just, I can't not, you know what I'm saying? It's just very ingrained in me as a person. So I feel like when you come around people and you have a warmth about you, it makes them put their guards down, and they can be able to, communicate things with you that they might not have planned on, for one, because that happens to me a lot. People just feel comfortable and they just want to release. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for
Sense
that.
of peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think it's you exude peace. And so I
Thank
feel like you're
you.
always in control of whatever the situation is, and you're not picking up on the energy of somebody around you.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
And I think what I hear you saying is that you possess the ability to connect with others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to explain sort of, that superpower is your ability to connect with others, get that rapport fast, and build trust.
I love that. I'm taking notes to say that whenever
we're
someone asks me
recording
that.
this, so you
Yes,
listen
I can go
to
back
it.
and listen. This is on wax, so to speak.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. The
All
first
right.
time I met her, I felt welcomed already. So it was nice.
That's cute.
Okay, so what's yours?
I want to flip the question. What do you think mine is?
Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to go off script.
Yeah, you can, and I'm going to go and counter it back and say, nope,
Uh-oh.
I want you to tell me.
oh,
'Cause
that's
the easy way
fine.
out.
She
I'm not going to
tried.
let you take the easy way out. No, you have to answer it.
See, let me think.
Can I help you?
Yeah,
Please.
I have
Do you-
some.
Do you? I don't. So context. I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
met you, Miranda.
Yes.
So, do you work today, or are you a full-time student?
I have 2 seasonal jobs at the moment.
Okay. Who do you work for seasonal?
Universal and Epic Entertainment Group.
Got you. Which one would you rather talk about on the air?
Ooh, I don't know because they're both major companies.
Okay.
So
That's okay. I'm just going to talk about you,
Okay.
not them,
Okay.
but I'm going to talk about your job. Which one are you more comfortable sharing? What your job is?
Oh, what my job is
Yeah.
or about the company?
Just
Yeah.
your job. I'm
Yeah.
not
Okay.
asking you to say
Okay.
anything
I was
about
gonna
the
say,
company.
whoa.
No, you can't do that.
No,
I was like,
just-
that's
no.
crazy.
Just about your job. And your
So the Epic Entertainment Group, I do guest services over there,
Okay, great.
and ticketing, box office.
Okay.
I deal with a lot of people.
Okay.
Some good, some a little difficult,
Awesome.
but
That's
always
okay.
good.
So with regarding Epic, when you think about Epic and the role that you have, what are the biggest problems that Epic faces, and what do they desire? What does excellence look like in your role?
So excellence in our role is
in your role.
in my role
in
Yeah,
your role.
not
Yeah.
our, not
Okay.
the company.
Yep.
You.
is good guest service.
Okay.
We always want to make sure the guest leaves there with all the questions that they have answered. I like to treat guests as a friend of mine because I want them to feel comfortable with talking to me, and they can talk to me about anything, and I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to do anything of the sorts. So my job there is to solve those problems, and if I can't, then I will get someone to help me solve the problem. I'm never too afraid to ask for help when it comes to that. And with my other job, I just sell souvenirs, but it's the same
Still
thing
customer service.
with, pretty much. It's guests, again, always coming to me. If they just need a vent about their day, if they had a horrible day, I'd like to think that I can make it better, even though I am just selling them a souvenir at the end of the day.
So do you know, this is what I want to share with you about
Yeah.
your roles.
Okay.
When you sell someone a souvenir, they are on vacation.
Yes.
They may have saved up every last bit of money they have for that one family vacation that they're taking their children on. And
Yeah.
do you know that when you sell them a souvenir that you are actually servicing them in a way that you're allowing them to capture a moment that they're going to remember forever?
Yeah. We always say that merchandise, we get the best guests, even though sometimes we don't realize that, because food and beverage gets the hangry ones. Attractions gets the people who've been waiting in lines all day, so they're not the happiest. However, when they come in the store, they're in AC most of the time. They're just wanting to buy that special gift, like you said, that they've saved up for, and maybe they had it in mind. Maybe they saw it walking by, and they said to themselves, I'm going to grab that. It speaks to me.
Yeah. Do you know what I hear you saying, though? What I hear you saying, if I'm being honest, is that you love providing excellent experiences
Yeah.
to people, fantastic service, and help them create memorable moments that will last
Yeah.
a lifetime.
So you want that on your resume.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was
Exactly
going
what
to say,
he just
write
said.
that down.
Yeah.
So go back and make sure you listen to the show and you
Yeah.
add that as 3 bullet items on your resume.
And that was one of the things that when I got hired for the seasonal job with Epic Entertainment is they asked me what guest service is to me, and I said treating them like a friend.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got me the job, if I'm being
Yeah, I mean,
honest.
you are really doing a service for both of the companies that you work for.
Yeah.
And if you are delivering that service with excellence, my point to you today is that you should be able to describe that, and there is a way to describe that. So when you're asked, what is my superpower, you might answer, my superpower is providing service to people that are visiting parks, or I love providing excellent service to others and creating memorable moments for families.
Yeah.
That might be, I mean, I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
what it is, but that could be part of it. And so as you continue to explore, that's the way, that this is a way to approach that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a good answer.
One of the things that she said, I know I say it, I've heard somebody else say this many times. People go, oh, I'm just this. And that word just, it's so, I think, minimizing the role that we can have. And I heard
Yeah,
Miranda
I
say this,
did say
oh,
that.
I just this. And I went, no, if we took that word just out of the conversation, we would actually see that we're not minimizing the role that we have, because every time, just like what she was saying, the opportunity to meet with that person, that could be that one time, and it usually is in the instances where she is, it's going to be that you can make or break somebody's day.
Yeah, for sure.
That's huge power. That's a superpower.
Yeah.
Right there is the ability to stay positive and realize, okay, they've been hot. You have to empathize with that person. They're hot. They're in Florida climate. You know, they've been waiting in line. All of these things, and you go, okay, I'm going to be the best person that they meet throughout the whole day.
Yeah, I would say empathy is one of my superpowers.
Yeah.
See, now we've got some real
Yeah.
definition going around your
Yeah.
superpower now.
So
We didn't start there though.
yeah,
We're
you
getting
made
there.
some good points. I'm definitely going to tweak my skills part of my resume after.
So I believe you just communicated what your superpower is, empathy.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, you sparked that thought, but she repeated it, so it resonates, and that's what it is. And this is what I love to do. I love to help people in groups or in one-on-one get that level or reach that level of clarity about communicating their value. And I believe, and I have seen and have evidence that when people reach this high level of communicating their value, the sky's the limit on what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because they can communicate to people at work where they want to go. They can communicate to other organizations what they want to do. And that is really powerful. Not a lot of people are great at that, actually.
No, it takes a very keen, and I think that's your superpower, is being able to help people identify the strengths and the qualities that they have that they may not recognize.
Yes.
Yeah. and you've spent a
Recognizing
lot of
their
time.
potential. It's what I love to do.
Yeah, I can tell. I can definitely tell. We need to take a brief break to recognize our second patron. I'm loving this whole conversation. I
Yeah,
can't wait to get back to
Me
it.
too.
Okay.
Okay. Starter Studio is a pioneering hub for innovative and tech-enabled entrepreneurs that empowers and provides resources for entrepreneurs, creatives, and innovators to begin, grow, and flourish in Central Florida. They offer open community educational programs, accelerators, funding, and collaborative workspaces. Starter Studio fosters a community serving as a platform for the ideas of the future. Their website is starterstudio.org. Thank you, Starter Studio, for being a patron of the Intern Pursuit Whisperer Live.
Okay, that was just a really brief time, so now we're back to continue our conversation.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah. So, Stan, 10, 20 years out, this is one of the things that we usually talk about,
Sure.
future of work. What do you think it's going to look like, storytelling or marketing or whatever it is that you would think in the future?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't know that I can try to answer it. I can tell you what I would love to be doing 10 to 20 years from now.
Okay, what is that?
As it relates to storytelling, my goal and objective is to help people communicate and learn to communicate their value at scale. So how can I help as many people and reach as many people as I can possibly reach, teaching them how to communicate their value? And when I say at scale, thousands, tens, or hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, I don't think people often understand the meaning of scale. At scale, it means like, obviously, huge momentum growth, right? Thousands of people. And how can we do something like that? It's often through like the way that we are communicating right now, through videos, through Facebook, through our social channels.
Sure. Technology solutions. Right now, the primary method that I teach people in a few different ways. I do a 4.5-hour workshop that I invite people to, and they come in and they learn to tell their story. They learn their superpower statement through storytelling exercises, which is a lot of fun, believe it or not. The second thing we do is we create what's called action supports. And action supports are the things that you say about yourself that support that superpower. And then I teach them how to communicate their background in a storyboard. So I teach them how to organize what they say about what they've done in a different way, taking you, the person who attends, out of the hero position, and it puts you in as a pathfinder, I call it, which you are now a mentor, and the hero or protagonist in these stories that you tell about your background are the companies and the people that you serve. So it's a bit of a different sort of a shift, a paradigm shift, if you will, on how to think about your background. We think, when we work jobs, we come in and we save the day. And we've done so many great things and all these accolades and awards, and here's what we've done, and here are our results. Well, yeah, great stories have great endings and payoffs.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is I would rather be a mentor or a pathfinder helping heroes than be a hero that needs a pathfinder all the time. So when I view relationships, I try to establish myself as someone that can help someone else achieve their objective, their desired state, and understand and empathize with their problems. And so that's what we do in the workshop. The other thing I do is I coach one-on-one. So I have a bunch of executives or even students that I spend some time with coaching and helping them accelerate their career, get to new levels, or break from one role to another role inside of their existing career path.
Okay, so something that's interesting, the Good Network, that's one of the professional associations I belong to. And I often did not know the difference between coaching and being someone that's an advisor. I hadn't really thought about it. And we had a person come up and talk to us about what coaching is. And so that person that's a coach never gives advice. They don't come in there like in the Coaching Federation, the way that he did it. It's all asking lots of questions to the other person so that they are led to their own conclusions.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't, although I do use the term coaching, I am not certified as any sort of coach with any sort of licensing. So many, many times when I talk about what I do, I refer to it as mentoring.
Yeah.
And a mentor, so you've got counselors or coaches, and then you've got mentors. How I like to view what I provide to others is I actually serve as a mentor. And a mentor's role is to accelerate their future. They're not going to go back and fix any of the broken stuff that's in the past, and they can't change the past. Neither can you, but they're not analyzing the past. What I'm doing as a mentor is I am focused on helping others accelerate their future. And that's why I get so passionate about that part of what I do.
I like that. I like that a lot. So in the mentoring game, I feel like mentoring comes on both sides of the table.
Sure.
Because I have all of these people that are like in college, and I feel like it's a 360 experience for myself. I do feel like I do that, but I also feel like they mentor back to me. And I don't think that they recognize that there's huge value of everybody that's in the room.
Well, why don't you share one of the ways that these guys have mentored you?
Okay, so that's fair. So one of the things...
We're going to create some love and atmosphere in the room.
Yeah. One of the things that's been, for me, huge is I actually asked each one of them to be on a specific social channel. And I wanted them to play to what their strengths are. And so they picked which one that they wanted to take on. And the goal is to be, because I can't do all of this by myself. And I feel like if they're picking what they truly are going to be passionate about, they're going to set that world on fire for me. And that's where we've gone through this process of learning how to create content and being able to get it out there. It's a learning curve for sure. And what's always very eye-opening is that I don't always feel that I've done a really good job of training them and being able to communicate effectively. And they're extremely patient with me. So
That's great.
that
See?
is where I go. And
Yes.
I go, okay, so, they give me grace. They are patient with me during the learning curve because that's what I have to do also. And I feel like it's definitely something that comes both ways.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Like how from a mentoring standpoint, how has she poured into your lives professionally?
I can say, because this is my first internship, I was shocked at how kind and gentle and patient Isabella was with me, because when you don't have any real work experience, you think it's all scary and everyone's mean because you don't know what to expect. Right. So it was one time I came in, I forgot. When we transitioned our shooting days from, I believe, Wednesday to Tuesday, and I completely forgot. And I'm like, I am about to go there and fire myself. Like, I prepared to come and be like, you know what, if you want to fire me, I completely understand, because I would fire me. And she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I need to give out the grace that I am going to need, because we're all going to need it. And I was shocked for the duration of that night, because I was not expecting that. So I believe this is a great first opportunity for me to have a professional experience to put on my resume, because I can't imagine doing it with anybody besides Isabella as my boss on World Boss Day. Is it national or world? It doesn't matter.
Darius, he came in. I think somebody said
It was Giancarlo.
Oh, Giancarlo.
Yeah.
There is a day for everything now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that you said that was special about you that I hear is, you love to invest in others.
Oh my God,
and
yes.
the growth and development of
Yeah,
others.
I do.
And that's being received.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to you for
Thank
making that investment and for her acknowledging that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I do see that anybody that works with interns on the employer side, that we have a huge responsibility to see that we are investing in them, and it does come back both ways. And to me, there's nothing sweeter than that opportunity. I've been told by people at the school, the teachers, they go, if you're going to work with her, she's really tough, so you need to be prepared for that. And I said, really? You go, like, I don't know what's going back to the schools, but but they send them to me because they also say, we know that they're going to leave with skills, and that's what they want to see from the schools.
And they're going to they're going to join someone being your organization, the Intern Whisperer organization, right? Intern Pursuit, that cares about people.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. I hope that's the consistent message.
Well, that's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
So your evidence is here.
Yeah.
But you've created something that's fantastic that people are willing to get behind. And, if you are listening to this podcast and you are a college grad or a recent grad and are interested in internships, I would encourage people to check your organization out.
Thanks. Thanks, Dan.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling the love. Yeah, thank you. All
So
right.
where do we go next?
So I totally want to go in a different direction.
Sure.
Favorite superhero movie ever?
Don't have one. Not a fan of superhero movies.
Okay.
Sorry.
So sorry. John Wick. No. Okay, never mind. That's not a superhero
movie.
but nonetheless. For me, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a toss-up between Men in Black. They're not superheroes, but yet I think they are. They're just regular people,
Yeah.
and they have these superhero powers at times, whether it was through a stone or just a little stick that can make you forget stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I love those movies because they make me laugh, but I think that they're, to a certain extent, somewhat true. There's a lot of truth throughout them, so I'm going to pick those two.
Well, I'll talk about the things that attract us to superhero movies, right? Because superheroes generally show up in a movie and they have problems. They're not perfect, right?
Yeah.
Which attracts us.
There's always
and gets
a flaw.
There's always a flaw.
I'm a big fan of the underdog.
Sometimes they're the underdog, but there oftentimes is a big problem that they're faced with, and there's a desired state. They've got the responsibility of helping someone. And the other thing I want you to know, when you're watching a movie, there's often a mentor, or I refer to it as a pathfinder, in these movies. There's someone who has empathy and authority over their life that helps them, get to this new area. That helps them, whether it's solve the problem, beat the, have a conflict with the antagonist and overcome adversity. And at the end of the story, there's ultimately always a payoff. This is why we love these superhero movies, because they're all written in the storytelling format. Now, for me, there are so many stories that I can think of that I love about superheroes and superhero movies, but I would say probably Batman is one of the ones that, that resonates with me the most.
And you can think about every superhero. They always have a character flaw. There's always a way to take them down.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that they're out for the count, but it just looks like they're gone. And if you put the league together, what is it, the Justice League?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You put them all together. They fight, they disagree, but they also have each other's back by the end of the movie. I think that's how we should see each other. Miranda, what's yours?
So so my favorite superhero is either Superman, Spider-Man, or Batman. I have respect for Batman because he chose to be a hero. He wasn't born with powers or was bit by a spider. But my favorite, I have a soft spot for the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. I used to watch that every weekend. Don't know why, just drew to me.
Okay.
And then
Everyone now knows that.
yeah, if you count the Harry Potter movies, I do.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always fighting to.
Good versus evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
There's Voldemort,
Don't say his name.
Yeah. But they're always trying to get justice for the school, for Hogwarts, and they're brave. They're in Gryffindor.
Yeah.
I'm a Ravenclaw, but it's okay.
Yeah. Didn't read the book, so don't really know that whole story there.
Yeah, I consider them heroes.
Okay, so since Sydney does not have a fan there, that's okay. You just don't believe, or don't?
It's hard for me to enjoy, like, really get into shows that aren't realistic. Like, I tried to watch that show Black Lightning, which is based off a superhero, and I got about 4 good episodes in because the storyline was good. The guy, single dad, 2 daughters, they're finding their way around. But then the superhero stuff started, and I'm just like, this is just, you lost me. No one's flying. It's just not,
It'd be kind of interesting to see what movies you really like because they're all over embellished.
Yes, but no one's flying. No one's lifting people up with their hands. Like, it's like, you lose me. Like, okay.
I do like Guardians of the Galaxy too. I feel like you would like that. It's just fun. It's a fun movie.
I can have fun. Yeah, I can get into a fun thing. I have to tell myself
I'm not super
fine.
into Marvel, but I really liked that one because I stopped watching after they replaced Spider-Man. So that's where they lost me.
What's kind of, I guess, disconcerting is none of us picked a woman superhero. I just realized that. Like, none of us picked Wonder Woman or, well, you didn't say her. So that was the thing. It's like, I was paying attention to this and I went, wow, none of us said that. That's not necessarily a good sign, but, it's not bad either.
There's a woman in Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Yeah. But do you know her name? I don't.
No. But Wonder Woman is a queen.
Yeah.
We like her.
Oh, yeah.
I just haven't seen the movie, so I can't.
All right. So, I know we're going to be, we only have 5 minutes left, so we have to,
that went fast.
I know, it goes super fast. Who gave you your first chance in the workplace? Who is somebody that's really memorable for you, that really invested in you?
Well, there's a lot of
That's
leaders.
Okay, it could be more than one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of leaders throughout my career that have invested in me. I worked for AT&T for a number of years, 12 to be exact.
Wow.
Halfway through that experience, I was fortunately and unfortunately, I was let go due to a merger and acquisition. But I ended up
to a better opportunity.
Well, I did spend a lot of time. I was not prepared to search for a job, so it was quite unexpected. About halfway through my experience with AT&T, and I learned a lot. I learned that I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't networked the right way with the right people. I also was paying more attention to my own results, serving myself than I was serving others at that point in my career. That changed me. When you work a 6-year career and you think you're doing great, and they let you know that you're no longer going to be with the organization, that's a shocker.
Yeah, it is. That's a long time to be with.
And so I spent the next 2 years really working in various opportunities. I did some banking. I did I served in the mortgage business. I knew nothing about it, but I jumped in with both feet, and I ended up back at AT&T, oddly enough, into a new role with a new perspective, most importantly. And the second time back at AT&T, I met a wonderful leader whose name was Marvie Moore, and she was an executive at AT&T, and really just spent a fantastic amount of time with her, mentoring. She mentored me, coached me, developed me. She exposed me to other leaders in the organization, and really gave me opportunities that really didn't exist. So I'm very appreciative of my relationship with her. I'm now at ViewPost, and I'm being mentored by our CEO, Max, who is an amazing leader. He's an
What's his
entrepreneur.
last name?
LSQ.
No, I don't know. Okay.
He is an amazing leader. He's started a business that has, that really is. We are making a difference in the lives of companies that we work with. But he's done a great job and really given me opportunities that have really helped me grow and develop, and has been very supportive of my career development. And there's just countless amounts of people that I could go on and on and on about who is invested in my life, which I'm very thankful for and appreciative of.
So our last question here is, how can people find you? What's your website? How do you want them to reach out to you on social channels? Whatever, email, phone number, share all of it, whatever you wish.
Well, great. So I'm on social, Facebook and Instagram at Career Storyteller. So that's
You better tell people how to spell storyteller, because
Career
Story
Storyteller. Yeah, Career Storyteller is spelled exactly how it sounds.
Okay.
So it's at Career Storyteller, and then you can go to StoryCate. That's StoryCate.
There you go.
Yep.
.com.
Okay.
And so you can find out more about what we're doing in the community, how we're helping people tell their stories, and by visiting the website as well. And that's really the best way to connect with me. Send me a private message. Where we're going to be, it will always be on some sort of social media platform. And of course, LinkedIn. LinkedIn gets overlooked, but not in the business realm. So, feel free to connect with me, Stan Miller, on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with you there as well.
Yep, I agree. I just ran into him by random, and it was because I was going into the office. There was a sign that said storytelling, the art of storytelling in your resume. And I went, what is that? It just really intrigued me, just the title alone. I went up to the third floor. This is on a Saturday. Went into, I'll say it, Power DMS. And I sat down and went, I don't know what this is, but I was talking with your wife, who's also
you
your
met my
partner.
wife.
And I said, hey, here's my information. And that's where I got connected with him. And look at this, you're on the show. I could not be more thrilled.
We had coffee, and we talked and connected, and it was great. And I am so thankful for this opportunity. And again, if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, I'm happy to.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
All
Stan.
right. So you're going to do our transition piece? I know, all right. So thank you, Valencia College East, for letting us be in here. Q, our station manager, we always acknowledge him. We're going to do our shout out. So we're going to go around the room. I'm going to start with Miranda.
To my favorite, real life superheroes. I love you, Mom and Dad.
Oh.
Shout out to you guys.
That
Super
was
nice.
beautiful. My shout out is for Stan Miller, who helped me, and my mother would really appreciate you for this, who helped me turn my childlike words into my mother's term, big girl college words. You helped me turn what I thought was my superhero into a nice, eloquently spoken sentence that I can transfer and put everywhere. And when someone asks me, I'm going to practice saying just that. So I
You
thank
are
you.
most welcome.
Thank you.
Stan, your shout out.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for having me here. This has been a great experience for me. Hopefully, I've provided you with some value today.
Of course.
That's what I love to do, and that's what's meaningful to me, is to be able to provide people with value in whatever setting I'm in. So thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And my shout out goes to all of our listeners. I happen to actually want to give a shout out to all of the parents of everybody that's in the room. You guys are, as parents, are like loving on your kids. Thank you for also listening to our show and sharing it out there in the social world. Thank you to everybody that's on the team, in the room, and everybody that's the unspoken people, the game, the podcast people, the marketing team, and the graphic designers, web designers, software people. There's a lot of people behind the scenes here with Intern Pursuit. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out also to the two ladies across from me that are making my life easier, and the two men that are behind us making our beautiful snippets that people will be able to see. So special love for you four. All right. And so people can contact us at info@internpursuit.tech. You can go to the website, find our phone number, find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those great places. And as we close the show, we want to thank you, all of our listeners. So good night.